So the physical clutter definitely can be compared to the clutter that's going on in your brain, in your mind.
An entrepreneur straight out of New York City, Michael Chernow. What's cracking?
Hello, friends. This is Monday Moments, and I want to kick this off by just taking a quick breath. If you're listening to this podcast, you could be driving, you could be commuting, you could be on a treadmill, you could be walking your dog, you could be stressed out, you could be stoked to death, you could be in any situation in your life right now, but I'm just going to ask you to take a quick breath with me just to kick this bad boy off because I need one. And maybe you do too. So we're just going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth just one time just to set the tone. And it's going to be just like this. Okay, that was all I'm asking you to do. That's the only work I'm going to ask you to do in this 15-minute podcast. I want to talk about clutter. It is a new year. It's a new year. It's 2025. 2025, y'all. That's real. When I was a kid, 2025 would have been like the absolute future, like Star Trek styles. And we're living in it, 2025. Clutter is a real thing. Clutter can be physical, like in your closet, in your bedroom, in your locker, on your desk. Clutter could live anywhere and everywhere in your life, and it could also live in your brain. But I want to start with physical clutter because physical clutter is actually super anxiety provoking. And I have stuck to a habit to the best of my abilities for the last 5 years or so. And that habit is what I've coined it is leave it the way you want to find it. What does that mean? Well, it all kind of started when I got my own home gym. And I built my own home gym and I was training in there every single morning. And this was in the beginning of the pandemic when I moved out of New York City and we moved to upstate New York, and I had a big garage, and I built a home gym in there of my dreams. And I was so excited about my home gym. And I painted it the color I wanted it. I got floor matting, that made me feel like I was at like some high-class elite gym. I put a big decal on the wall that said discipline equals freedom. I love Jocko Willink. I got the equipment that I wanted. I got the weight plates that I wanted. And it was my own personal space that I really felt wonderful in almost every time I was in there. It was just a place that I would go to, like my little pain cave where I would just go and get after it. And after the first few months of having my own gym, I realized how much of an impact it was for me to come into the gym in the morning when everything was put away, clean and pristine, as opposed to some mornings that I would come in and after my workout the day before, I wouldn't put away everything. I wouldn't put away the weight plates. I wouldn't put away my barbell. I mean, I wouldn't leave it a complete mess, but there were things on the floor around. And I took note of that. And at the gym that you go to, if people don't rack the weights in the right places, it's really annoying and it's frustrating. And it's time consuming. And ultimately, all those things generate anxiety, whether you know it or not, whether you think so or not, they just do. And so I made it my job after every time I'd work out in my home gym to not only put the weights away, not only put the barbells away, not only put the dumbbells and the kettlebells away right where they belong, but to actually clean the gym. And it would take me all of about 8 to 10 minutes max to do all of that stuff where I would vacuum and I would give it a quick mop. And then the next morning I'd come in and the gym, and I'm in the gym at 5:30 in the morning for the most part. The gym was it just made me feel so good. And I started to realize that our environment, the environment that we walk into, specifically environments that we walk into on a daily basis, can actually deeply impact how we feel. And so I started taking note of it obviously in the gym. And then because it was the pandemic and we were all kind of sheltered in place, I also built a little office for myself in the house. And I started doing the same thing in my office so that when I walked into my office in the morning after I worked out, after I took a shower, hit the sauna, did all those things, get into my office, and my desk was just perfect, and it just made me feel so good. And I began to create this ritual with leaving everything in my life the way I'd want to find it. And it just, every environment that I would walk into made me feel good. There was no tension. There was no additional static. Similarly, in your closet. Now, I did a post on social media a few years ago where I said, if you want to see what's going on in between somebody's ears, also known as in their head, look in their closet and see what it looks like. And I got a lot of hate for that. People were telling me, oh, you don't know, some people thrive in a messy thing, da-da-da. I call bullshit. I could tell you right now, if you look into somebody's closet and it's an absolute mess and a disaster, chances are that is also what is going on in between that person's two ears. I can only speak for myself, but I don't believe I'm unique. When I take the time to hang all my clothes, to fold all my clothes, to fold my underwear in the underwear drawer, to keep my socks in their space, everything looks and feels good. I am living my best life. On the contrary, and this happens for sure, if I open up my closet door and there's things on the floor, I haven't folded this, I haven't hung this up, I don't have enough hangers, and I didn't take the time to actually go grab some new hangers, and things are just a mess, I check in with myself and I'm like, yeah, dude, things are a mess in your head right now. Like, you are not running on all cylinders. You need to just take a break and understand what's happening. So the physical clutter definitely can be compared to the clutter that's going on in your brain, in your mind. And when I started to notice that when I took the time, the 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe sometimes, to really clean my space as I was leaving, making sure that my closet feels good, looks good, I just started feeling better. So I wanted to give that to you guys as something to potentially consider in the beginning of the new year. If you live in a messy environment, you might want to consider changing that, because messy environments do provoke anxiety. I don't know anybody who would disagree with me there. And the ritual of taking the extra time to clean and put everything back where it belongs is actually cathartic and soothing, because once you're done with it and then you take a look back and you see how neat it is, it feels good. It's a win. It's an absolute win. So what have I tried to share with you guys over the last many years? Controllable wins, things that you can do in your life that do not require other people to feel like you've had a little win, because little wins stacked up on top of each other make big, long-lasting impact. The clutter upstairs can be decluttered by taking physical action to actually declutter physically. I mean, I forgot what her name is. There's like a very famous person who actually is literally became famous because she was helping people organize their closets and organize their physical spaces. It really does make a big difference. So if you can just think about, hear my voice in your ears when you leave the office, just take the extra few minutes to make sure that there's no clutter on your desk. You know what? Have a little spray bottle and a washcloth just to spray your desk down when you're done working. You're cooking dinner at home, and you're cooking dinner, and like, this is a big one too that I just didn't mention. Cooking. I cook almost all of my meals. I cook a lot of stuff. I cook my first meal of the day, which is meal 1, which is never makes a mess. But cooking for lunch on Sundays, I cook my lunch for the week because I, again, like to be organized and have a plan and try to make my life as least stressful as possible. So I really do cook lunch for Monday through Friday on Sundays. So there's never a thought about what I'm going to have for lunch. I just grab it and throw it in my bag. But when I'm meal prepping, there's a lot of stuff. There's sheet trays, there's pans, there's pots, there's things everywhere that I'm using. And I just know leaving that stuff for any period of time after I'm done cooking just creates stress, not only for me, but for my family, for my wife, my kids. So I immediately do the dishes. And then I wipe down the whole entire kitchen, because there's no better feeling than once you're done with a big meal prep cook to look back at your kitchen, know that you've just cooked food for the whole week, but then you're leaving like a pristinely clean place. It just feels good. It's a good feeling. And it's a good feeling without any added sugar. I don't get the opportunity to, have artificial flavors in my life. I literally have gone out of my way over and over again to create these tangible wins that I can rely on to actually make me feel good. And clutter or decluttering is absolutely 100% one of them. So leave it the way you want to find it. Your office, your gym, your kitchen, your closet, your car, all those little things that take no more than 10 minutes to do. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to actually change your mood potentially. And then once you walk back into those spaces, have a sense of calm, stress-free environment. It's a big one, friends. A big one. So I hope that inspired some of you. Try it. Try it. Go home and open up your closet. And if your closet's a mess, just know chances are you're probably stressed out in life. Attacking your closet could potentially make a dent in the stress that's going on in your life. And I know that sounds crazy, but I promise you it will work. It will. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Share this podcast with a friend or family member. And have an absolutely unbelievable, incredible week, because you deserve it. Peace.